Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Jaspreet and this week's video is actually a glazing tutorial. This week I'll show you how I glaze my beautiful little trinket dishes. I have some of my favorites here that I'm showing you. But this was so much fun making these dishes and then glazing them with all these different combinations. Obviously, I made notes and also I'll show you my exact process. Some of them were experiments with swirling glazes, some of them was layering, some of them did turn out kind of blah, but I think that's part of the process. But this was a lot of fun, and I did discover some really amazing combinations, which I am going to try onto bigger platters, maybe bigger leaf platters or something. But that's what we'll be doing today. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. Okay, so here are my leaf dishes after brisk firing. Now it's time to add some glazes to them. Now I do have a list of combinations that I want to try. So like I said, we'll be making some which will be more springy and then others which will be more fall theme. So I have a bunch of different combinations and that's what we're going to try now. Okay, so we start the first one. Now, if you remember, I had recently tried iron wash with holly green and there wasn't much that happened there. It was kind of meh, really meh actually. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try, somebody suggested in the comments, somebody had suggested that why don't I try it with manganese wash? And that's what I'm going to be doing. So because the smaller ones, they also be, good places to test things that you can make, try on bigger pieces. So I'm going to try a little bit of manganese wash. This is again manganese wash from Mako. This is what I'll be using. I'm going to thin it down quite a bit. So I've just added a lot of water to this. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do this manganese wash on the sides. A little bit of manganese, a lot of water. We'll just do the side here. This is supposed to be quite runny. Let's see what happens, but I just want to try it on the sides. I'm going to go in with one more coat because I think this is quite thin. Okay, that's one. I'm not sure if this is enough manganese, if I should have added more. Is it too thin? No idea. You can see I'm not being very precise. That's okay. You know, maybe it'll add a little bit more character to my leaves. Who knows? Okay, so that's what we do here. Now, okay, let's do one with holly green and the other one soft aqua and a little bit of soft white to it. Let's see. Let's experiment. That's the whole point, right? Okay, here's my holly green. I know there's not much place for things to move really, but we shall see. Okay, just mixing my glaze well. Again, I'm using a smaller brush for this as well because smaller piece, this should be okay. I'm just going over the entire leaf, including the manganese wash. I can go in with a little bit of soft white on top as well, just to see what that does. I'm tempted. Probably I'll try that with one of my smaller bowls. I have a million, not a million, I have quite a few little bowls that I want to test different things with. So probably I'll do that there. That's one coat, and I'm going to do another coat. Two coats is all I need for most spectrum glazes. Yeah, I think all of them. I don't do more than two. Because some of these glazes, if I do more than two, they actually obscure the texture, especially cranberry. That's done it so many times to me that I'm scared of using it more than twice. So that's my two nice coats, all done. Okay, now this one I'm going to add some soft aqua to it. Okay, so here's my soft aqua. Now here I can see that my texture is not very deep. Like the lines that I've made are not very deep, so I might lose all the texture. Also, since my soft aqua was kind of drying, there was really little left. I added some water to it. Now it's too thin. So your probably would not be as thin. So just know that. It's not supposed to be this thin. That's one. On to the second coat. Let this dry. And then we'll do one coat of soft white. Or should I just leave it at that and maybe do one more? Okay, this one we'll leave just with do manganese wash and soft aqua. And we'll do another one, which will be manganese wash, two coats of soft aqua, and then soft white on top, right? So here's some more manganese wash. So not all bamboo brushes are made equal, as you can see. This one I have very little control over. This is a nice point to it, but so that's our manganese wash done. Let me just move this off here. Again, we'll come in with two coats of soft aqua. I should say thin coats because my glaze is thin. Maybe I could do a 3 year, but I'm doing soft white on top, so maybe not. Then we'll wait for this to dry, and then we'll do our final coat of soft white. This is almost dry, and here's my soft white. So I'll just take some soft white and I'm just thinking if I should add on the whole thing or just on the side. Let me just add it on the sides here where there's a little bit of movement that's expected, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, so that is done. That's my leaf number 3. Once I'm done with all the leaves, I am going to clean up the bases. Right now, I'm just making sure I get these done. Now, the next one I'm going to do is copper wash with clear on top. I know what that looks like and I like that combination. So I'm going to just do that as well. This is copper oxide mixed with a lot of water here. And here's my leaf. Take this and I'm going to just go over the leaf. Okay, here's my copper wash. Now for this, because I know I've made this, so the one that Mako has, that's different. It's more intense, so you have to wipe it back. This one also I'll wipe back, but I'll wipe back a little bit. I'll not wipe back the entire thing because it is really diluted and you don't get to see much. So I'm going to wipe it back, but I'm going to leave a lot of it on the surface as well. Because this one, like I said, something that I have mixed and I have thinned it down quite a bit. So if I don't be careful with how I wipe it back, it's easy to just take off the whole thing, right? So you see there's still enough there, but still clean. And once I do that, I'm going to just do a little bit of, wash on the edge, just to define the edge. So I'll just hold on to my piece like this and just go over the edges here. Okay, that is done. This will have a clear on top. Now we go to clear with my fan brush. Mako number 8 is what I have and what I usually use. Just take this and be really quick about it. There you go. This is my dip and pour glaze. That's why it's more than enough to do just one coat. So that is done. Just making sure all the sides are covered, right? That's another one done. What are we doing next? Okay, let's do some fall leaves. Another test is we'll do some iron wash and we'll do a yellow glaze on top, right? I have a yellow glaze from Spectrum called Mimosa. Again, I'll be using this iron wash from Mako. To add the iron wash, I'm going to take one of these brushes, and there is enough in the lid here. I'll take this and just add it to the texture, to the veins. That's my iron wash. Now I've applied it 2 3. So for this one, I'm going to clean it off. And the next one, we'll probably do another experiment with the iron wash, but this time I'll leave it on and we'll apply it thinly. Okay, so that's my iron wash, and I'm going to use the same brush to add a little bit on the edge as well. Okay, so we have one here, and we'll do another one. This time we'll thin down our iron wash a little bit and add it onto our leaf, a bit like a watercolor effect, certain areas darker in certain areas, lighter in certain other areas, and not wipe it back, and then add yellow. Okay, and then we do a little bit of cleanup, like in certain areas, maybe. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see what it looks like. Who knows? Okay, I'll just do the edge as well. Maybe I should do one with just clear with this kind of an effect, just to see what that looks like. Oh my god. Too many combinations coming to mind right now. I have to stick to my plan. Okay, just doing the edge quickly. It's good to have a plan when glazing. So I do have a sheet where I have written down the combinations I want to try. And if there are any other extra pieces, then we'll try those. But for now, at least I know exactly what I'm doing. So that helps for sure. That takes a lot of stress off. Though if I show you my glazing table right now, you will be a little bit overwhelmed and worried for me. So I'm trying to be chill about it. I have a lot that I have to glaze. I will be going away for some time. I need to finish a bunch of things, glazing and orders and stuff before I leave. Okay, so that is done. Now we move on to Mimosa. This is one of their translucent glazes, Celadon, not the floating range. I think I have thinned it down already, so I don't need to thin it down anymore. The reason I thin down my glazes is because, especially the Spectrum ones, they are quite gummy in the sense that they do tend to skip a lot of the texture sometimes. So that's why I like to just thin them down. This is thinned down, I can see just with the way I'm being able to brush it. I know I've done that. Okay, that's done. I'm going to quickly do the edges. That is done. On to the second one. While that dries, we come to this one and go in with our second coat. Okay, so those are my two fall leaves. Next one is Amber Celadon. This is a Clayscapes glaze, and this is a dip and pour glaze. But I sometimes get lazy about, they are, already made and placed in buckets, but I get lazy about using them because dip and pour, you see. So what I usually try to do is I just put them into smaller jars, but at least I can continue using them. in some form. Though it's a dip and pour glaze, and you'll see the texture is very different. This will dry so quickly on the pot, but I just, because it's a small leaf, I think I can try it out. Just mixing the glaze well in the jar, and I'm going to be using, okay, yeah, that's thick. Ooh, nice. Can you see how quickly that dried? Usually one coat should be enough. I'm just going to quickly do the edges here. I'm thinking, should I go in with another coat? Will this be streaky? You know, I think I should let it dry, because I realized if I try to add a second coat to a dip and pour glaze, when it's still wet, it becomes a big mess. Okay, let's go in. Okay, even small areas, it's still okay. So that's amber celadon, and I'm going to leave it here. Okay, on to the next one. So on my list next, I've written is swirl, amber, and green. That should be interesting. I don't think I'll have much chance to swirl anything in this little thing because it's going to all come off. But let's try. Okay, so this is my holly green. It is going to be messy and I'm scared. Okay, I'm going to pour some holly green onto the leaf, just like this. Pour a little bit of, I have to mix it well again. Ooh, 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 ooh. Do this before you pour your first glaze, in case you're doing something like this. Okay. Alrighty. Let's just, I think the amber is going to take over, but we will see. Okay, where's my green? Come on. We add the green on top. Or maybe this will not do anything. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to now just do this and then use a brush to push some of it along. You know, we'll see what this looks like. Could be a complete disaster or something pretty. Who knows? I hope you can see what this is looking like, more marbling, and that's not what I was thinking, honestly. Maybe I added things not in the right order. Okay, yeah, very amused. I think what I'm going to do next is just take the amber and go around the edge so that at least that's covered. I'm going for fall vibes. Probably if I was going for spring vibes, I would do green on the side. This is ridiculous. I have no idea. This is going to be one big mess. Yeah, this is too much marbling. I didn't want a marbled leaf. Have you seen a marbled leaf? But you know what? If it works, it actually looks nice and you can do so many different combinations. Oh my god. Alrighty. That's what that leaf looks like. Okay, let's do one with just plain chai glass. Yeah, I have like the last bit of chai glass left. That is done. Okay, let's look at chai gloss with textured burgundy. Oh, that should be fun. Chai gloss in the center and a burgundy glaze, like a textured burgundy on the side. That will be a nice fall leaf, right? Do you see I'm not being very precise? Okay, so that's two coats. And then you bring in textured burgundy. That's one coat. Onto the next one. I'm applying fairly thick coats. All right, so that is done. Okay, on to the next one. For this, we'll need iron wash again. Clean this off. Now we add Norse blue. We're going to do 2 coats of Norse blue. Okay, this is almost dry. Let's go on to the second coat of Norse blue. And then we'll do a little bit of amber celadon on the rim. I've never done these particular combinations earlier, so I have no idea what they're going to turn out. I'll let this dry completely and then we'll move on to the amber celadon. So while this dries, we move on to the next combination. So what I'm thinking is I'll do one. So we did this here with chai gloss in the center and textured burgundy on the side. Now I'm thinking we'll do textured burgundy on the inside and chai gloss on the outside. So let's try that as well, just to see. Okay, so that is done. Now I'm going to go on to the side with the chai gloss. Now we do the second coat. Okay, so this is done. Our next combo is going to be, again, I'm going to bring in my manganese wash. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay, I've mixed up a little bit of manganese wash here, like not too much. I'm going to do this. Oh, okay, I can just do this inside the leaf. Let me mix a little bit more. And then we just wipe it off. I'm going to do a quick border because I need a little bit of movement on the edge. Now what I'm thinking is on the inside, we'll do a little bit of shadow blue and we'll go on top with some holly green. Let's see what that looks like. Because I don't have any other darker blue, I have only this shadow blue. I know this is a dip and pour glaze, but that's all I have right now. So I'm going to just take this, and I have actually added too much gum to it, so it's kind of thick and uneven, but that's why you're doing this, right? To experiment. Okay, so that's my shadow blue. One blob, nice thick blob of shadow blue. Let it dry a little bit. Maybe one more blob of shadow blue. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That's 2 blobs of shadow blue. You can see how thick my glaze is because I've added too much gum to it. So again, I'm just trying to use it up. And I'm going to take some holly green and go over the top. Nice thick layer. I'm just doing one coat, a thick coat, and that's it. So that's holly green over shadow blue. Okay, here's another one. Holly green, 2 coats. I have seen people try this out and it looks so good. We let it dry. So 2 coats of holly green with, I think, one textured kiwi. Okay, that's almost dry. Then we do another coat of holly green. And while that is drying, I'm going to come back to my Norse blue and add a little bit of amber celadon on the brim. Okay, again mix your glaze well. This is also a dip and pour glaze from Glazescapes. That is done. I know there are a few drops that are going inside. I don't mind that. They'll actually make it look a little bit more real. It look like it has been eaten up by little insects. Okay, this is done. And on to the last leaf. So I'm waiting for this to dry so I can add textured kiwi to it. Now I'm on to my last combination, and that is going to be another Glazescapes glaze called Coastal Blue and Shadow Blue. Now this is a combination which I've seen, I think, Tiffany from Hobble Creek Pottery. She does an amazing job with these two glazes. She's done so many mugs, and I'm going to try it on a mug as well. But because I have this tiny little trinket here, I'm thinking I'll try it out in this as well. I think it's such a beautiful combination. Because it's a dip and pour glaze, I think it works best when you actually dip and pour, which is not happening here. So what I'm going to do probably is, let's see, probably I'll pour some of it onto my leaf. You know those little drippers do a good job of that? Maybe I have one in my studio. Let me just check. So I couldn't find the dripper, but I found this syringe, so I'm going to use this. I've mixed up this glaze nicely, coastal blue. It is a thick glaze, melty glaze. Beautiful glaze though. I mean, I have to say it's a beautiful, beautiful glaze. So I'll probably use a little bit on here. We'll see what that turns out to be. I could have done this with a brush as well, I think. Okay, yeah, all right. So I have sprayed some on here with this. The beauty, I think, of this glaze is that it runs. On this, there's not much scope for it to run, so I don't think it's gonna do much. So that's done. Now we move on to the shadow blue. My battery's dying. My battery's dying. Okay, the shadow blue, which is also a dip and pour, and I'm going to just do a little bit of this. Okay, so that's my last one done. There was one more thing. Yeah, and this one I'm going to add textured kiwi, and then we are done. This glaze by itself, I'm not a fan of. So one thick coat is all I'm doing. Okay, finally done. Now these will all be, they'll all dry, and they will be fired to 1200 degrees Celsius. And of course, I'll show you what they look like once they are fired. So these are all our leaves after glaze firing. You can see there are two distinct groups. These are the ones which I don't like. These are the ones which I like. Now, I'll again just take you through all of these, what we did here and what was the result. And obviously, I'm happy with them or not. Let's start with this one. This actually broke. It was a leaf. This was chai gloss. But if you see the surface here, this is quite matte. So my chai gloss was really thin. It was actually, yeah, it's almost over now. And this is on a lighter clay body. This is on a porcelain leaf. You can see how white that clay is. Let me just compare. Oh, that's also porcelain. That's porcelain too. Yeah. If you compare it to my regular stoneware clay, you'll see the difference. So Anyways, this is not as glossy, but I like the look of this. It's a perfect fall leaf, looks really good. And I'm gonna get now some more chai gloss and try make more of these leaves. But that was okay. That was a good one. Now these are my flops. Let's go through the flops here. Probably you would have already guessed what's happened here. This is the one, let me see. This is number 8. So I have the list here. This is the one where we poured amber celadon from Clayscapes, which is a dip and pour glaze, and holly green, which is a brush on glaze, onto the leaf here. And then we tried to swirl it. It became a little bit of a mess here. And then we pushed the glaze out, the mix out with a brush, and then added amber to the rims. Complete flop. I think the glaze was so thick that the leaf actually broke. And because it's porcelain, I was expecting this to happen. But sometimes the glaze is too thick, like thick as in really thick. This can happen. Um, this is a failure. I don't know if I like it in any other version, but I don't think this is going to work. I have too many good ones to worry about. Oh, this is not supposed to be here. This is here. I have too many good ones to worry about, so I'm not going to bother with this combination. So there it goes. This is the one where we did 2 coats of shadow blue. Again, it is too thick. If you see in here, shadow blue can be a little unpredictable in that sense. So this is too thick. And then we added a coat of holly green on top. I don't think the green shows at all. I was trying to do something with it. I don't know, but I don't. mm, I like shadow blue by itself. I don't think the green made any difference, but yes, it can get really thick sometimes. So this is really thick, and yeah, it's I think a failure because it covered everything. Then these are the two that we did with the yellow and the yellow translucent glaze called mimosa. The glaze is nice, but if you remember in this one, what we did was we added the iron wash. It was thinned down, wiped it back, and then added the yellow on top. You just see a little bit of this darkness underneath, but nothing great. It's quite sad. It's meh. This one we again added the iron wash, but then we left a little bit on the leaf. You don't see that at all. I was hoping some of that would come through. Maybe if I use a thicker coat of iron wash. I do thin down my washes quite a bit. Maybe if I do it slightly thicker, then I will be able to see it. You can see a little bit on the sides, the iron wash, but the inside there's not much happening. This is quite meh. Coming to this one, now this is Norse blue. Now in this one, what we did was we added the iron wash, wiped it back, added 2 layers of Norse blue. Then on the rim, we did amber celadon, one thick layer, right? So you can see what that looks like. So I like what's happening here. Like there's some interesting bits happening, something with amber celadon as well. But I mean, this is okay. Not my favorite, but not a complete failure. So, you know, mm, like I said, I have better options. This is a straight up, we did iron wash and why did I do this again? Oh, we did manganese wash in this one. Oh, not iron wash. So in this one, we did manganese wash. Again, I think my manganese wash was really thin. Um, you can't see any of it on the edges at all. And then there's 2 layers of poly green. I think even without any wash, you'd get exactly the same result. Hold on, I'll just show you. This is the one which I did in last batch without any washes, and this is the one that we did today in this batch. I mean, yeah, this looks a little lighter, but it's just the same, you know, doesn't matter. So unless your wash is really thick, maybe it will matter. The way I use it, it did not. So, but it's still a pretty leaf, so I don't mind it. So that is done. Then on to this one. This is your copper oxide white back. We did leave a little bit on the leaf with a clear on top. Now, this is beautiful. I like how this looks. You can see the places where the copper is kind of thick, where we did not wipe off. The surface is matte. I like the look of this. I will use it. I have used it in the past as well, but and on the sides also you can see everything. So this was good in my opinion. Okay, let's move on to this one. Now this is, let me just quick, okay, so we did manganese wash on the side. Again, you don't see much of it. I think next time I'm going to go with slightly thicker coat, slightly thicker mixture of manganese and water. Yeah, you don't see much of it. And this is on a whiter clay. This is on porcelain, nice and white and bright. And this is soft aqua. That looks beautiful. I like a little bit of that manganese coming through, gives it that antique look. Probably a thicker coat would do a better job. So I'm going to try that again. So otherwise, also on the whole, I like the look of this. You do see a little bit of manganese, but not much of it. This is the other one, which we did with the manganese. So here, if you remember, and I like this better compared to this one. This is so much better. So what we do here, we did the manganese on the rim and we did bring it in a little bit. Then we added the soft aqua on the entire leaf, 2 coats. And then with soft white, we just went over here, like we did a little bit of, just around the rim, we did some coat, we did 1 coat. And I like this look so much better. Imagine on a bigger platter, this would look so beautiful. And here you can see the manganese flowing. So maybe a thicker coat of manganese with soft aqua and soft white. This is, I think, one of my absolute favorites here. So I'll keep it here, closer to me. This one is Amber Celadon. We did 2 coats and yeah, it's nice. It did what I expected it to do, so I'm happy with it. Yeah, and this is on my stoneware clay, so that's good too. Now these are some of the interesting ones. Look at these. These are absolutely stunning. I love these, the way these turned out, both of them. So this is chai gloss on the inside here and chai gloss on the outside. So here the chai gloss is nice and glossy. It's actually quite glossy. Yeah, it's almost as glossy as the inside. So if you look at this, chai gloss is nice and glossy. Can you see that? It's quite glossy. That's nice. Even this one, the inside is nice, glossy. On the outside is textured burgundy. Now, one thing I want to show you is the 2 clays. This is porcelain and this is stoneware, and this porcelain has cracked. That's why I don't like porcelain. Even these small pieces crack. Though I have to say that the clay was quite stiff when I was trying to form it, so I expected this thing to happen, but then I'm testing glazes. I should, yeah. Anyways, so if you see, the textured burgundy looks quite bright here. It could be because it's a thinner coat. That could be one reason, but other than that, there's not much difference. But I like the combination. Both of these. This is a happy one. Okay. This is the one where we did 2 coats of holly and then 1 textured kiwi on top. And I love it. I think this is a good combination. It adds a little bit more interest to the leaf. Yes, a lot of texture does get obscured. I mean, you can't see much of it, but it's still nice. It's still pretty. It's a leaf shape you can still make out. So that's good. And then this one, oh my god, this is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love this. Again, shadow blue will do this. Well, it will accumulate so much. I mean, unless you can dip it, I think dipping will give you a better result. During firing, when it melts, it is going to come and pool, in a flat area. So just expect shadow blue to do these kind of things. But look at coastal blue. Oh my god, that's beautiful. And where the two meet, look at all that. Little bit of, blue here. I love this look. This is such a beachy vibe, but it's so pretty. I want to do a whole series with this. So thank you, Tiffany, at Hobble Creek Pottery for sharing this combination. This is absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm going to do a lot of stuff with this. So yeah, that's all I have. Obviously, you know my favorites. I'm kind of already, if I have to pick 4, I'll pick these. If I can pick 6, then I'll pick this. If I have to pick more, I'll pick these. I won't pick any of these. I don't like any of these. These are complete. They're really sad. These are all good. I'm happy with these. But these two have to be my absolute favorites. And these two. And this too. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I have to stop. So this is my favorite, I think. I love these. I know they're not really fall leaves, but still pretty, right? You can still make bigger platters in leaf shapes or whatever shapes. Just remember, whenever you're using these flowy glazes, that there has to be some kind of horizontal surface where the glazes can flow and accumulate and do their things. If it's a flat surface, absolutely flat, or very little, incline, then might not be much that these glazes will do. So just be aware of that. But that is all. So that was the video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast glazing these leaves and I'm so inspired to try them on bigger pieces. Again, leaf shaped pieces, and try different combinations. I've already shared my favorites with you and I am going to give them a try, probably on even vertical surfaces, because some of them have some movement, and on bigger platters. And this can be used as a good way to test some glazes, just to see how they look in a smaller piece and then replicate that onto a bigger piece. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share. That really helps the channel. And I'll see you next week with another video, another tutorial maybe. Till then, you guys have a good one and I'll see you soon. Bye.